Hi guys, this is Ashik from Physio Vibes Anatomy. Welcome to our channel. Today we are gonna see about the hip joint. Before starting, let me give you an outline for you. This question is quite a big question, so I'm making it into two parts, part 1 and part 2. In part 1, we'll be seeing the introduction, type, articular surface, factors of stability and ligaments, and in part 2, that is in the next video, we'll be seeing the relations, blood supply, innovation and clinical importance. So let's start. So guys, the hip joint is a synovial joint forming the connection between the lower limb and the pelvic girdle. Here you can see this is the pelvic girdle hip bone and the right femur. So it forms a connection between the lower limb and the pelvic bone, right? And this joint is the multi-axial joint, that is, it can have movements in one or more axes, and this is designed for stability and weight bearing. So as I said in the beginning, the type of the hip joint is the synovial joint, freely movable joint with a ball and socket variety. Here you can see this is the ball and socket variety, where one bone has the ball portion and this is the socket portion. The feature of this ball and socket variety is it allows almost movement in all directions, and here the head of the femur bone forms the ball portion and the hip bone forms the socket cup like portion. So let's see even more detail. Now let's see the articular surface of the hip joint. Head of the femur articulating with the lunate surface of acetabulum. So head of the femur articulating with the acetabulum. So this is otherwise called acetabulo-femoral joint or acetabulo-femoral articulation, because the acetabulum and the head of femur is getting articulated. Okay, so here you can see this rounded spherical portion is the head of the femur and this is the acetabulum of the pelvic bone. So I'll just show you now. You can look here. I have just made two models. This is the head of the femur, the upper portion of the femur, and the acetabulum. This is the acetabulum. This is how it looks like. So this is how the articulation will be. The head of the femur is articulating with the acetabulum of the pelvic bone. This is how the joint will be. So I'll explain you in detail. So now, the head of the femur, this is the head of the femur. Here you will be having a small opening which is called the fovea capitis, and the remaining portion of this head is the articulating surface of head of femur. It is covered by hyaline cartilage. So now we are seeing the acetabulum. The acetabulum will be looking like this, as I showed you in the model, right? This crescent shaped structure, this portion is the articulating surface, and this is the non-articulating surface, and this is called the acetabular notch. Like in mobile phone we have notch, right? Likewise in acetabulum we have this notch, and here you will be having a ligament which is called the transverse ligament, so that bridges the gap. So the notch is converted into a fossa, an opening, which is called the acetabular fossa. So let me show you in the model. Look, as I said, this is the fovea capitis. Here you will be having an attachment of a ligament, which is the ligamentum teres, ligament of head of the femur, and this portion is the articulating surface of the head of the femur. And in the acetabulum, it will be the articulating surface, the crescent shaped surface, and this is the notch. Here you will be having the transverse ligament as I showed you in the diagram. So that makes the acetabular notch into a acetabular fossa, right? So I am just showing you again, this is how the articulating surfaces will be, the head of the femur articulating with the acetabulum. And the next important thing is the factors of stability. There are certain factors which maintains the stability of this joint, which are the depth of acetabulum by the acetabular labrum. I am just showing you in the model again. This is the acetabulum, right? And around the periphery of the acetabulum, there will be a fibrocartilaginous rim, which is called the acetabular labrum, like we have in the shoulder joint, as you might have known, the glenoidal labrum, right? Likewise, acetabular labrum will be present around this acetabulum, so that it deepens the acetabulum. It increases the depth of acetabulum, which is an important factor for the stability. And the next thing is the tension and strength of ligaments and muscles surrounding the joint. Here you will be having the ligaments, which will be seeing now. So the ligaments and also the muscles surrounding the joint helps in the stability of this joint. And the third one is the length of neck of femur. You can see here in the model, right? This is the neck of the femur. The length and obliquity of the neck of the femur also plays an important role in stabilizing the joint. And finally, we have the atmospheric pressure, which is also a factor for stability. Now the next important topic in the hip joint is the ligaments. There are some 7 ligaments which are very important in the hip joint. For making it easy, I am just giving you a mnemonic, FIPPY-LAT. You can remember FIPPY-LAT. F for fibrous capsule, I iliofemoral ligament, pubofemoral ligament, and another I for ischiofemoral ligament, and L ligament of head of femur, and A acetabular labrum, and the transverse ligament. So we'll see in detail. First is the capsule, fibrous capsule. The capsule will be surrounding the joint. From the acetabulum it extends, and here in the intertrochanteric line in the front of the femur, and before the intertrochanteric line at the back of the femur. So the capsule will be covering the joint like this. Entirely capsule will be covering the joint. So this capsule attaches from the acetabular labrum and the acetabular, the crest of the acetabulum, and it attaches here in the neck intertrochanteric line, and at the back it will be 1 centimeter medial to intertrochanteric line. So this capsule is very strong anterosuperiorly, and at the back it is very loose and thin, very loosely attached. So this capsule is having 2 types of fibers, the longitudinal outer fibers and the circular inner fibers. Okay, the longitudinal outer fibers reflect in the neck region to form the retinacula. Retinacula means a thick band of fibers. So important blood vessel supplies the head and neck of the femur, passes along the retinacula of the capsule, and the synovial membrane lines the capsule, As you all know, there's a synovial membrane and synovial fluid will be present in the joint. So this is what the capsule, it attaches from the acetabulum, the acetabulum, the transverse ligament, and to the intertrochanteric line of the femur. It covers the joint entirely and protects and gives the stability to the joint. And this is the capsule. Here in this picture you can see the capsule covering the joint and gives the stability. This is the capsule, it will be covering entirely. Now the next thing is iliofemoral and pubofemoral ligament. These two ligaments are present anteriorly and this ischiofemoral ligament is present posteriorly. So first we'll see the iliofemoral ligament. You can see from the name iliofemoral, that is it attaching from the ilium to the femur, pubis to the femur, and ischium to the femur. Those attachments, the location of the ligaments can be known from the name itself. So iliofemoral will be coming like this. The lower part of the anterior inferior iliac spine, from here it comes like this and it attaches in the intertrochanteric line. So this is the iliofemoral ligament, and this ligament is a very strong ligament, and this is otherwise called the ligament of Beechlow. Ligament of Beechlow, a triangular shaped ligament which is coming from the lower part of the anterior inferior iliac spine and the acetabulum. From the ilium it comes and it inserts attaches here in the intertrochanteric line. This also gives strength to the hip joint, and the important function of this ligament is to prevent the spine from falling backwards. It gives the erect posture. Then the pubofemoral ligament, which is coming from the pubis, the anterior ramus, superior ramus of the pubis, it comes like this and it attaches here in the neck of the femur. So this is the pubofemoral ligament. It also helps with other ligaments of the joint and capsule. It helps in the stability of the joint. And the iliofemoral and pubofemoral ligament, you can see here, right? This is the iliofemoral ligament coming from the ilium to the femur intertrochanteric line, and coming from the pubis to the femur is the pubofemoral ligament. Now the fourth important ligament is the ischiofemoral ligament. It is present in the back side of the neck of the femur. Here it is present back side posteriorly, and this is a weak ligament. I'll explain you. This is the ischiofemoral ligament. You can see the green color coming from the ischium, and it attaches to the capsule. It binds with that, and it binds with other ligaments. It helps in the stability of the joint. And the last three ligaments are the ligament of head of the femur, acetabulum and transverse ligament, which I'll show you in the model. You can see here, right? As I said, the fovea capitis. In this opening, the ligament of the head of the femur will be attaching. That's the apex of that ligament will be attaching here, and the base of the ligament will be attaching here in the transverse ligament. Look, I am just drawing the ligament. The ligament will be, transverse ligament will be like this, bridging the acetabular notch and forming acetabular fossa. Here this is the transverse ligament, and from here the ligament of head of femur comes and it will attaches here in the fovea, right? This is the ligament of head of femur and this is the transverse ligament, and here in the acetabulum, surrounding the acetabulum, you will be having the acetabular labrum, and this is what the ligaments of the joint. And here you can see the ligament of head of the femur and the transverse ligament and the acetabular labrum, all the three. Ligament of head of femur, transverse ligament and the acetabular labrum here.